My dog was acting like an asshole. Fucking bites everything that she comes across. Fuck out of here. Dog is an asshole. Yeah, so far nothing's happening. Just another day. Joe Biden's about to take this motherfucker over and dipshit's on his way out. January 21, 2021. Walking on a treadmill. Watching Fight Club. Inauguration went off without a hitch. All that dumb shit these assholes was talking never happened. Michelle Obama was looking like a fucking boss. And Joe Biden's president now. Let's see. Kick some dirt on this. I just noticed they put a dick at the end of Fight Club. Like they spliced that shit in there. I never noticed that shit. Yeah, like I said, nothing happened. Quick epithet on MAGA. MAGA should have been murmur. Because what MAGA really stood for in actuality was make racism mainstream again. If you watch that Lovecraft shit on HBO, I mean, they went over the top with it, but we forget how these motherfuckers used to just have racism out there on the mainstream. Start smoking 2 days ago. It's just weird, you know. Seems like my chest has been hurting more, like around my heart. It's weird. It's like you stop smoking for a couple days just to try to feel better, and your lungs start to feel better, but then your fucking heart starts to hurt. So what, am I about to have a fucking heart attack now because I'm trying to quit smoking? This is bullshit. Getting old fucking sucks. January 23. Walking on a treadmill. Watching Freddy versus Jason. I said I was gonna watch all the movies in my library. So that includes the bad ones. This movie is a piece of shit. But I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I got a fucking stacked library, goddammit. Think about the last 3 movies I just watched. Kill Bill, motherfucking Fight Club, Matrix was lame. But before that, it was Dead Presidents. There's some good ass movies. All of them at least a 9. Cause even now that I like now I understand Fight Club better. It was just a bunch of crazy dudes following a crazy motherfucker. Or it was a bunch of normal dudes following a crazy motherfucker. So they all started being crazy because their leader was crazy. So I understand that shit a lot better now. That's why everybody's acting so stupid. Because they're like totally following this crazy motherfucker. Let's see, ain't shit in the news really. Like, that's a good thing. Now the dipshit's out of office. Like, this the news. Hank Aaron died, like yesterday. Larry King died, like today. And fucking Chuck Schumer said erection. That's the news. That's how it should be. Something just completely stupid and don't matter to nobody. That's what happened in politics. That shit was funny as fuck though. He tried to cover that shit up. So there really ain't shit to talk about as far as news goes. But I was watching Amber Ruffin earlier. She was talking about how the fucking Capitol rioters, the fucking Trump riot, how the police treated her, juxtaposed next to them, how they were treating them.
I should have been watching.
And it's like,
not drinking. Not
that shit makes sense, man.
I deserve it. We all deserve it.
She is a delightful, super nice. You can't imagine her being up to no bullshit. But even she got fucked with by the police several times apparently. So I feel like this is my diary. I should be talking about real shit, not just dumbass shit that I see on motherfucking TV. Put this shit on the motherfucking record. So when I think about my interactions with the cops over the years, there's a couple that stand out. Especially when you see how these motherfuckers treat people that they respect. Like the way that fucking pig was walking down the Capitol steps, holding that fucking treasonous fucking rioter, helping her down nice and easy. I want to talk about some shit that I seen personally, that I dealt with. Because I used to sell drugs back in Chicago. So when I'm talking about my interactions with the police, I'm not sitting there trying to be like, oh, I was fucking innocent or any of that shit. I wasn't. I was a fucking piece of shit. I was selling drugs to my own fucking community. Poison. And I knew I was selling poison. I was just so broke, man. You get so broke that you just don't give a fuck. And that's kind of how it was. I was just a broke motherfucker. And I knew I was doing wrong. But I just couldn't stand being broke, man. So I was selling drugs. I sold crack and heroin. So, first time I got arrested, they was doing some kind of motherfucking sweep or some shit. And I saw the police from like a half a block away. I knew that motherfucker was zeroed in on me. Pew! So I took off. I was gone. There wasn't nobody finna catch me. I was a fast motherfucker back in the day. But they had that shit planned and ready. And they fucking corralled me in to where I had to like hide under a fucking porch or some shit. And I'm like sitting on this fucking step or something. I can't remember exactly what, but it was like I was underneath the porch and I was sitting watching these cops running all over the place trying to find me. And sure enough, I make eye contact with this fucking cop. His name was TC. The motherfucker was like kind of famous in the neighborhood for being a dickhead. But I locked eyes with that motherfucker and he saw me, boy. He pointed that motherfucking gun at me and I didn't even think about doing nothing but complying. Because when you looking down the fucking barrel of a gun, I don't know. I was fucking compliant. And the motherfuckers was about to jump on me and shit. But for some reason, I can't remember. I think TC was dark skinned. It was a light skinned dude, and it was a bunch of white dudes. I can't remember exactly why, but they didn't beat me. And fucking TC was known for that shit. They got me, and they had to bring me about 2 blocks back from where I was serving. So to throw me in their car and shit. So as they walking, this is another thing that kind of gets on my nerves, because motherfuckers always talking about how black people hate the cops. And I think that's bullshit. From what I've noticed, black people don't hate the cops. Black people hate dirty cops. Black people hate shitty cops. Because as those motherfuckers were walking me back to the car, like I said, I was about 2 blocks away. Motherfuckers was clapping. They was like, yeah, get that motherfucking piece of shit off the street. I'm telling you, almost every house I passed that they was walking me back to this fucking spot, motherfuckers were clapping for him. Clapping for the fucking pig. Having to snatch my ass up. I was a piece of shit. They were happy to see this motherfucker get me off the street. Everybody knew me and everybody knew what the fuck I was doing. They were happy that them fucking cops got my ass off the street. But you know what? If the fucking cops would have started beating on me, hell no, the motherfuckers wouldn't have been clapping. It would have probably started a riot. That's the fucking difference. Black people feel the same way about cops that white people do. Except it seems like white people don't mind dirty cops. Now I'm generalizing, obviously, but I'm just speaking from what I see. I'm not saying every white motherfucker. I'm not saying every black motherfucker. There's plenty of black motherfuckers that really do hate the cops. All of them. I'm not speaking for anybody except myself and what I see. White motherfuckers tolerate 30 cops. A lot more, it seems like, than black people. Always making excuses for them motherfuckers having a bad day or some shit. But black people don't hate the fucking cops. Black people hate dirty cops. So anyway, I go to jail, and like I said, it was some kind of sweep going on where they was snatching up all kinds of drug dealers, because they threw me in the back of the car. There's, I think, 2 other motherfuckers, maybe 3. And the shit was crowded, and crowded is the fucking theme of this story. So they get us to the fucking Cook County jail, and book us in, and then they put us in this motherfucking holding cell. So we were one of the first motherfuckers. The fucking group that I came in was one of the first to go in there. So this holding cell, probably about not even as big as this fucking garage I'm walking in. And there was probably about 10, maybe 15 motherfuckers in there when we first walked in. And they brought me in with probably about 10 other motherfuckers. And there's a bench that goes around the perimeter of the cell. And then there's a bench in the middle of the cell. So for motherfuckers to sit on and shit. So by the time my group gets in there and sits down, I'd say at least half, probably more like 75% of the seats were already taken up. Alright? So I say a couple more hours go by and more motherfucking groups of like 5 and 10 keep getting brought into this holding cell, to the point where I remember we all had to stand up because there was no longer room for anybody to sit down. And I remember I counted, and I did multiplication because I wasn't finna be counting fucking heads. And I counted down one line, 9 motherfuckers. Counted down the other line, 10 motherfuckers. So my estimation, there was 90 motherfuckers in this space of about where there was probably not supposed to be, if you're gonna be humane about it, there's probably not supposed to be more than 20 to 30 motherfuckers in this cell. So we're at 90. I'm not short, I'm pretty average or slightly motherfuckers in this cell. So we're at 90. I'm not short, I'm pretty average or slightly above average height. So as I'm standing up, I'm a little bit above the crowd and even with most or above. Probably a couple tall motherfuckers mixed in. I do remember there being one white dude in this whole shit. He's a redhead motherfucker too. That dude looked scared as fuck. That is one thing I definitely remember from this shit. One white dude, whole bunch of Mexicans, whole bunch of black dudes, all shoved into this fucking cell. And the dude next to me, I didn't know him, but we were just talking and shit. And we were talking, you know, just getting to know each other, shooting the shit, trying to pass the time. And as more motherfuckers keep coming in, this dude, you can tell, like, he's a little bit shorter than me. So he's not able to, you know, he's breathing down here by my, like, shoulder level. Motherfucker's probably like 5'6", 5'7". And breathing where I was breathing at was just, you know, at least I could see over the fucking crowd. But this dude couldn't see over the crowd. And they kept putting motherfuckers in. They kept bringing motherfuckers in and squeezing us in more and more. I don't know, man. I think I don't look good in this story, so I don't really like to tell it because it just brings up a lot of bad memories. But I think in many ways, I'm not to blame. It's the fucking pig for being a fucking piece of shit. But I do think back then, especially, I used to instigate or like egg motherfuckers on. Even sometimes I do it on purpose. Sometimes I wouldn't even notice it. But as more and more motherfuckers keep coming in, and this dude is clearly super uncomfortable with this shit, I'm like, man, this is bullshit. They can't keep fucking shoving motherfuckers in here. I didn't yell it out loud, but I said it plenty loud enough for motherfuckers around me to hear. You know what I'm saying? You get a couple grumbles like, yeah, man, this is bullshit. Motherfuckers is getting pissed off about this shit. We could barely fucking breathe. It was getting crazy. And the dude that I was talking to the whole time, like, he was like, yeah, man, this is fucking bullshit. And he said it loud as fuck. He was like, fuck this shit. Y'all motherfuckers gotta stop shoving people in here. We can't fucking breathe. He was like flipping the fuck out. He was mad. And I think I kind of lit that match. So then this fucking pig, motherfucker was probably 6'3". Keep in mind, the dude that I'm talking about that got all pissed off and geeked up about these fuckers shoving more motherfuckers in there. This dude was probably about 5'6", 5'7", 120, 130 pounds, little skinny short dude. This fucking pig was probably about, because he's definitely taller than me. He's probably about 6'3", say 250. He's a big motherfucker. And he had all his gear on and shit. And he shoves his way into this fucking crowded ass fucking jail cell, pushing motherfuckers out the side and shit. I'll get the fuck out of the way. And when he reaches us, he fucking grabs this little dude with his one hand, and with the other hand, he fucking open hand smacks this dude as hard as I've ever seen anybody get fucking smacked. I mean, he just crushed this fucking kid. We were the same age. And this was back when I was like 18, maybe 19. So this kid was my age. And this fucking cop, this big motherfucker, was black. So let's get this fucking straight. This is not a racial thing. This is a fact. This fucking big motherfucking black motherfucker, fucking cop, smacks the shit out of this fucking dude. Stuns him right there. The dude pretty much went to sleep. And the fucking guy pulls him out of the fucking jail cell. Like, you know, right back through the fucking crowd, out the door, where this fucking pig and probably 3 other ones. And I definitely remember this old white dude. He was old then. He's probably about 40. Had fucking mustache. Was like kind of, you know, the fucking ringleader. He sent the big dumb black motherfucker in there. Big dumb black motherfucker grabs him. And they went into this fucking side room. Him and about 3 other motherfuckers. Him, about 3 other cops. The dude with the mustache, the big one, and a couple other motherfuckers went in there. And you could hear it going for, I don't know how long they was beating on this dude, but I say, let's say at least a minute, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't think it went 5 minutes, but it definitely went more than 1. Let's put it like that. And just imagine how much damage 4 big motherfuckers could do to 1 motherfucker with handcuffs on. So they beating the shit out of this fucking kid. And then, when they're done, they fucking bring him back into the fucking cell. Push fucking dickhead black motherfucker pushes his way back in. Pushes him all the way back to where I am. And the fucking dude, like, just lines up right back to where he was, basically behind me. Away from the, like, we were towards the wall. Like I said, we were at the beginning before the shit got super crowded. So we were towards the back wall. Pushes him all the way back there to where he's now situated in this super crowded room once again behind me. Now, I could barely fucking move we can't fucking barely move. We had to move out of the fucking dickhead's way while he fucking brought that kid back in. None of us can sit down. It's way too fucking crowded. And one thing you can tell, that dude needed to sit down. We're all standing up. This kid is behind me, and I'm feeling like a piece of shit because I didn't do nothing. Like, I geeked this fucking kid up. He got a beat down, and I fucking sat there. And I ain't do shit. And I've always felt some fucking kind of way about that shit because I remember I looked back behind me, and this fucking kid had what we call a pumpkin head. That's like where every single fucking spot on this kid's face and head, because he's bald. Every single spot is fuck covered in bruises. So much so that the bruises don't even look like separate bruises. They look like lines. Like the lines on a pumpkin. His fucking face was gone. His fucking head was just... It was all fucked up. I don't know what the fuck they did to this dude, but they beat the shit out of him. Fucking cops. So, I look back, and I'm got my head turned around like, hey man, you alright? Like, that's all I could muster. Then he just kind of like looked at me as best as he could through his fucked up eyes, and then he kind of just looked down, and he was like, man, just don't talk to me. Kind of like he was real sleepy and shit and just wanted to go to sleep, except he's standing up because there's nowhere to sit down. So I just turned back around. I'm fucking ashamed of myself. I don't know how to express it at 18 or whatever the fuck age I was, but I'm definitely feeling ashamed. So I just turned back around. I didn't say shit. And I'd say within a minute, bam, I get hit in my back. square in my motherfucking middle of my shoulders. Like, I'm getting ready to fucking go off because I'm thinking this kid is like pissed off and attacking me. Like, pissed off at me for geeking him up and not doing nothing. So I immediately turn around like, the fuck? And I see this dude, he's shaking and pinballing amongst all of us. Like, he didn't hit me, he bounced into me super hard. He's having a fucking seizure. They beat this dude so bad they gave him a fucking pumpkin head and a seizure. As this dude is bouncing around like a fucking pinball, dickhead cop, the big dumb black motherfucker, comes running in, knocks everybody out the way again, fucking ox, and cracks this fucking kid that's having a fucking seizure. Once again, the same way, smacks him and grabs him. And we're like, this clearly something wrong with this fucking kid. It's not fucking aggression.
Oh my God.
And that's the last time I saw him. I don't know what the fuck happened to this kid. I don't know who the fuck he was. I just know
Late last night.
I ain't never gonna be able to forget that shit. They beat this kid, and for all I know, they could have killed him.
This is bullshit.
He might have been dead. I mean, they hit him again while he's in the middle of a fucking seizure. The only reason he was standing up and bouncing off all of us and shit because there's no room for him to even fall down. And this asshole fucking pig with his fucking gloved hand smashes this fucking kid and snatches him out. I don't know where the fuck they took him. They took him to the fucking hospital. They took him to some fucking back closet and fucking let him die. I don't fucking know what happened to this dude.
We don't have time for data talk right now.
All I know is if anybody wants to find out about that shit, there was I'd say it had to be around 90, it had to be between 93 and 95. And you just find me. I don't know if I should get my fucking last name, but anybody that wants to look into that shit probably can find me in the Cook County Registry. And you find the day that I fucking got locked up, you're gonna find somebody that fits the description I just gave, that went into that cell, but almost absolutely did not walk out of it like I did. I walked out of that cell and went home. That motherfucker was taken out of that cell and at best taken to the hospital to recover for a very long time, if he ever got over that shit. Beat him to a fucking seizure. So, yeah, that's pretty much my worst story that I've seen with the fucking cops. There's another story I got too that, like, when I be seeing these fucking pigs bitching about how scared they were and they just had to light a motherfucker up with fucking emptying their whole clip into a motherfucker. This was back when I was dealing drugs. Once again, I was a piece of shit. So just because I got stopped and arrested didn't mean I was gonna stop. So second time I got arrested, a couple weeks later, I was out in the middle of a fucking blackout. Stupid as fuck, man. It is dark. It's pitch black in the city. No lights on. It's a fucking blackout. These motherfuckers, it was me and my little homie. So I was about 18 and the little homie was probably about 13, maybe 14. Just young, dumb motherfucker, just like me. And I think he was like trying to impress me, because when I walk outside, he like runs up on me with this fucking stick that looked like a Tech 9. He ran up on me and pointed it at me. I was like, man, what the fuck? He was just playing because he's a stupid ass kid. But that shit looked real. It looked like a fucking gun in the dark. Alright? It had a handle on the side, and it looked like he was holding it like a fucking Tech 9. It's what it kind of looked like. So we go across the street. I start slanging. You know what I'm saying? It's pitch black out, but my customer base was kind of like loyal, so they was coming to me. Apparently somebody called the police on me. They saw me out there, called the police. Police showed up, snatched me up. Now this is the thing. I don't know if these motherfuckers had like night vision gear on, and they just knew we was a couple stupid ass kids, or I don't know if this is actually relevant, but I do know the dude in charge was a black dude, and he was younger. And like I said, just because you black don't make you a decent cop. That fucking piece of shit from the last story was black, and he's about the worst cop I ever seen. But this fucking cop, he was in charge of like other cops, and definitely in charge. There was a white dude with him, but it was clear who was in charge. It was the black dude. He was about 30, 35 maybe. So I'm like, we see these motherfuckers coming from across the street. They was probably not quite a half a block away, but they was kind of far away. And the reason I mentioned, I don't know if what this means is because as soon as we see them, which is basically we see flashlights, motherfuckers running towards us, yelling, "Police, get down!" The kid that I was with, his nickname's Tat Al. Tat Al turns towards these cops and points this fucking toy piece of wood right at him. And guess what? They didn't murder us. And I gotta tell you, unless they had night vision, I don't know how they didn't, because they would have been right to just open fire right then and there and just fucking lay us down. They would have had the right to, because in the dark, when I saw that motherfucker point that thing at me, I thought it was a gun. So either these cops practice some extreme restraint, heroic level restraint, if they didn't have night vision, or they still practice restraint because the thing looked in the shape of a gun, and we see people in midday, fucking cops shooting motherfuckers with knives and shit. Sometimes it's warranted, a lot of times it's not. When I think about how those fucking cops could have laced us, they could have laid us down right then and there, and they would have been in the right. They might have felt bad when they noticed that it wasn't a gun, but they would have been in the right. They would have been like, fuck, that thing looked like a gun. We had to defend ourselves. They didn't. And then I remember the way the dude was talking to me about how stupid it is for me to be out here, because he was like, man, you got some intelligence. Why the fuck are you out here? Like, he was talking to me like a decent person and shit. And I just remember thinking, man, thank God that this was the fucking cop that fucking snatched us up. Because if it had been one of these itchy trigger finger motherfuckers, these scary motherfuckers, or these racist motherfuckers, then we would have been dead. No doubt about it. And they would have absolutely been in the right at that point, because the shorty Tat Al pointed what looked definitely like a gun at him. Nobody shot, nothing. They just kept running towards us, advancing towards us, got us down, got us arrested. So in that situation, I'll always be thankful that was a good cop. That cop showed extreme restraint, and his team followed him in that restraint. And there needs to be I'm not saying motherfuckers need to give the benefit of the doubt like that cop gave us, because if that would have been a gun, they'd have been walking into a wall of bullets. But that cop showed restraint, the right kind of restraint. We all lived, we all went home, and we all learned from that because I stopped selling drugs. Talking to that cop, I don't know if it turned me around or if it was just getting arrested twice within a month that turned me around. But suffice to say, I was done selling drugs. At that point, I had seen enough, I had done enough, I understood who the fuck I was, and that shit wasn't me at all. And I hear these motherfuckers talk that shit about how scared they was and how when a motherfucker pulls out a goddamn wallet and you shoot 40 times because you so scared. I don't believe that. I think that's murder. I absolutely believe when motherfuckers empty they clip into motherfuckers that ain't posing real threats, it's murder. And motherfuckers let them get away with it all the time because nobody wants to
I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody saw what happened.
think.
And the police have been acting really weird. Like they knew something. And
Anyway,
I heard the
like I said, January 23, 2021. That's my diary.
Are you sure?
January 24, 2021. Walking on a treadmill. Still watching Freddy versus Jason. And ain't nothing really going on. Just another day watching a shitty movie. I didn't see anything even remotely interested in the news. Today's the AFC and the NFC championship. Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I say, fuck, that's a hard one to call. I'm gonna say, fuck, I hate Green Bay. I'm saying Tampa Bay gonna win that shit. Buffalo versus Kansas City. If Mahomes, it's like 90%. I mean, because he got a toe. Then I think they gonna win. Because he had a concussion too, but I think he's fine over that. But I think I just can't fuck with Buffalo. I can't fuck with Buffalo or Green Bay. I'm calling Kansas City and Tampa Bay. That's it. January 24, 2021. Ain't shit going on, which is good. January 25th, 2021. Got that shit all over this motherfucker. Walking on the treadmill. Watching straight out of Compton. Hey, that Freddy versus Jason was stupid as fuck, but I noticed that that Rick and Morty, that one with Scary Terry, that's definitely based off the one that off of this Freddy versus Jason ad bullshit. Because that motherfucker calls everybody a bitch. He be like, get ready to die, bitch. That shit was so fucking stupid. Seriously, that's like the dumbest fucking movie I got in my whole shit. That's gotta be. Anyway, ain't shit really happening. Same old shit on the news. Republicans acting like it wasn't no big deal that they almost got lynched in the fucking Capitol. Democrats just try to fucking impeach dipshit, even though he's out of office. Shit's not gonna happen, but that's about it. Ain't nothing else in the news. I'm watching this movie and well, January 25th. I'm still walking on the treadmill, but I want to say that I got the motherfucking games right yesterday. Both of them. Should have bet on that shit. Except I don't fucking gamble. And that's about it.
Don't play with me.
I be knowing that shit. This next one's a hard to call. Super Bowl. But I'm calling that shit right now. Motherfucking Tampa Bay gonna win that shit. They got home field advantage, motherfucker. That shit ain't never happened before. If they don't take advantage of that shit somehow, shame on them. Plus it's Tom Brady. I think Andy Reid, I just can't see him winning two of them bitches in a row, honestly. So, yeah, Tampa Bay gonna win that shit. January 26, 2021. Walking on a treadmill. Watch Straight Outta Compton. It's a good ass movie, man. It's like surprisingly good. I was ready to be disappointed when they put this shit out. But I was like loving that shit. This is just like a fucking good movie. It's like when I watch this shit, it just reminds me of how much I fucking hated that goddamn Tupac movie, man. Whoever made that shit, man, they didn't know what the fuck they was doing. I think they should have made that movie like through the eyes of a kid that looked up to Tupac. All the good and the bad. It's like that movie, when I think about it, it's pretty much about Tupac going to jail and Tupac getting shot. That's like what I think about when I think about that movie. It wasn't good. It was shit acting. It was just a bad movie. And it's fucking disappointing. That's the best that they could come up with for Tupac. But they make something this nice for NWA. And I love NWA. But they could have done a much better job if they really wanted to, like, pay homage. They just wanted to show that motherfucker getting shot and show that motherfucker fucking with a bitch. I don't know, man. I think Tupac deserved more than that. I gotta assume that at some point they gon' they gonna make it better, like a better version. But I don't know. Tupac to me, I don't know. I think I can explain how I felt about Tupac. I don't know. I ain't gonna try to explain how we, like the people like me and my generation, feel about Tupac. I'm gonna just say how I feel about that shit.
niggas ready to die today? Don't be quiet now. All that shit y'all throwing up out the window? What's up with it?
Tupac
Huh?
is a day
You see how you do that shit again?
older than my brother.
See niggas out here playing? Huh? Niggas dying from pain.
And when my brother,
You understand me?
when my brother left, I can't really remember how old I was. I think he was like 16 or 17. So I must have been like
Shit, you never know.
11 or 12, something like that. And when he moved out, it's like obviously I wasn't ready for it. And this ain't like nothing bad on him or even my mom's, because I remember when he left, and I remember why he left, man. We was living a fucking poverty. Like, I'm not saying we was at the, you know how there's like the top 1%, all the rich motherfuckers. I'm not saying we was at the bottom 1%, but we was probably somewhere in the bottom 5. Most of the time, didn't have no fucking electricity, no running water. Like, fucking poor people thought we was poor. Like, we was some broke motherfuckers. So they decided to. We was like on a trip. It was like one of them other parent vacations. I call it that because it's like my mom would come around. Once again, this is all she could do, so I ain't really shitting on her. It's just how it was. Like every year she'll come around for like, and like take us for like a week on this vacation. But it really wasn't a vacation. It was just time to hang out with this person that I don't really know, don't really like, because, you know what I'm saying, I figured she ain't really like me. I'm a kid, remember? And it was like we would go to things that was like a vacation, go to like oceans of fun and shit like that, or stay in some fucking hotel, go buy some fucking cheap shoes, some cheap ass motherfucking clothes. But it's like we hang out for like a week, and then the shit, we just go right back to the fucking. We would hang out in like a middle class type of life, and then we would go back to the fucking poverty. So I don't know. One of these fucking times, my brother decided he didn't want to fucking. He wanted to go with mom after she dropped us off back with my dad. So I'm like, 1 second we're driving back down these shitty, dirty roads, dirt roads, to get back to the house in one of my mom's rental cars. It's me and Vicky, and as we pulling up to the crib, I think Trey, I don't know if he had been decided and just said it out loud finally, but to me, it seemed like as we rolling up to the crib, Dre was like, man, I'm not getting out. Or something like that. I don't even remember because I was a kid. couldn't have been more than 13, probably 12, 11, something like that. I don't know. But like I didn't realize how fucking like psychologically devastating it was for the shit to happen like it did. But it clearly has some kind of fucking impact on me psychologically, subconsciously. I don't know how to process that shit. 1 second, my brother's here, and the next second he gone. And it's like nobody fucking ever talked about it. It's just something that happened all of a sudden. And I ain't saying, oh, fucking poor me, I lost my brother. My fucking older siblings go off all the time to college and whatever the fuck, military, or just move out when they're 18. So I ain't tripping off that. I think it's the way that it happened. It was just so sudden. I was not ready for it. I don't know if they had it planned, but I wasn't ready for it. And I don't know how Vicky felt about it, because I don't think even me and Vicky, as close as we are, ever talked about it. But I don't think it was just, I know it wasn't. It wasn't just subconscious, and it wasn't just psychological. Dre was like my physical protector in many ways. Like when we would all get in trouble, like he would get the worst of it. I don't know if it's because he wasn't my dad's blood or if he was the oldest. But when we would all get in trouble and catch hell, he would get the worst. And it's like Dre was my he was my protector in a real sense. Like there was times when he would, fight motherfuckers that were too big for me. I mean, this time, I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 9 or 10. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't this long. It wasn't that long before he had bounced. So I imagine I was probably 10 or 11. I'm at the park. There's a park that's like a half block down the street. We in Chicago, and me and my little cousin, we hanging out, because that's what we do. We hang out at the park on the swings. So I remember this girl, she like, I don't know, if I'm like 10 or 11, she's probably like 14, 15, something like that. She walks up, and she's got like this little boyfriend with her, who's probably about 14, 15, something like that. And the girl comes up and fucking demands like our swings. She's fucking old ass teenager bitch. Want our swings and shit. And I always been smart ass and shit, and I'm sure I said some smart ass shit to the bitch. But anyway, the bitch smacked the shit out of me. It's like, fucking bitch. Anyway, so the bitch takes my swing and shit, and her punk ass boyfriend like rolls up on me like, what, you got a problem, you know what I'm saying? What, you wanna do something and shit? All up in my face. This motherfucker, easy 3 or 4 years older than me. So my little cousin, he jumps the fence and goes and runs and gets my brother. He like, go on, I'm going to get Drake. He gonna run down, and I'm standing there. I don't know if I'm crying or just upset, holding my face or whatever. But they got back immediately. My brother hopped that fence, and he walked up on that dude like, "Motherfucker, what? You fucking hit my brother, motherfucker!" He like got up in his face and just proceeded to whoop his motherfucking ass like the motherfucker deserved. He should have beat that bitch's ass too. But I mean, that's just one example when my older brother just fucking held it down for me like a motherfucking champ. So when he left, it's like all of a sudden that shit was gone. All that fucking protection that I had on top of everything else was gone. And I think without realizing it, I immediately started looking for something to replace that, what I lost. And I don't know. I remember this was around the time, let's see, I was probably about 14, maybe 15, something like that. And my dad had went to Chicago and he had left me. So he's in Chicago doing his thing for like a week. I stayed in Minnesota, so I had to be like 15, I'm sure. I don't know if he had left me when I was 14. So I think I'm like 15 at this point. And there's this like little corny ass redneck club that used to have like a hip hop night and shit. So I used to hang out there, and I went there and we had like a party and shit at my house after the club was over. Nice little after party. And this shit got crazy. I remember this bitch fell through the window. She was so drunk, she sat down on the windowsill. It just fell back and just fucking shattered the window. It's that type of stupid ass teenager party. Bunch of drunk kids. And I had my little stereo, and it was some kids from St. Cloud that had come to the club, so they came to the party afterwards. And they had Tupac. Which one? It's not Tupacalypse now. It was it's the one that had Holla If You Hear Me. So they playing that shit, and I'd already heard of Tupac. I had been listening to it for, you know what I'm saying, a little bit here and there, but it didn't really strike me that much because I remember in the beginning thinking he was kind of corny because he was a dancer from Digital Underground. So I couldn't really just like take him serious at first. But I remember after the party was over, everybody was gone. I was trying to clean up the place, and them kids, they had left their CDs, they Tupac shit. So I started listening to it. I listened to the whole shit, and I didn't have no kind of banging ass system, but that shit was like so banging. The way Pac's beats was so bass heavy that I just love the sound of it. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out all distorted out of my little shitty boombox. You know what I'm saying? And they had Tupacalypse now, and I started listening to that shit too. And you know what I'm saying, how it just had a super bass heavy shits. You know what I'm saying? So it would go super bass heavy to some kind of like corny ass, you know what I'm saying, love R&B type shit. You know, switch on and off. Now I wasn't really feeling the R&B love type shit, But I just love the bass heavy shit. So much so that I still wasn't paying attention to the lyrics. I was all about the beats. And like how they just give you that fucking energy. So as we this fucking movie is funny. It's fucking distracting me from my damn story. I'm gonna have to watch this shit again. But so as I'm listening to this Tupac shit, you know what I'm saying, I start loving that shit. And you know what I'm saying, I start appreciating it a little bit more through the year. Listening to the lyrics on top of the beats. I was still more about like the violent songs and the shit where he's breaking his brother out of prison. Shit like that. I fucking love that shit. I still do. But I also was like realizing how the girls was like liking this dude. So I like started to change my style up to try to kind of emulate Pac and Michael Jordan. I copied a lot of motherfuckers after my brother left. Like, it's weird to think of it like that, but I changed my style. I was crisscross with the fucking clothes backwards and shit. I was earrings and shit. Like Pac and Mike started wearing baggy clothes and tight, you know, shirts. You know, I'm skinny as fuck with a bird chest, shit like that. And I remember, I think it was probably the next year, I went to Chicago, and I don't know, I was at the house by myself. I think this is Chicago, and I don't know if it's Yo MTV Raps or just watching BET, but that video, Holla If You Hear Me, came on, and I already loved the song, but I had never seen the video. And I was watching that shit, and I was fucking transfixed at how crazy this shit was. That video is so good. It's such a good fucking music video. But the motherfucker just going around wrecking shit basically through the whole video. Right? They follow it like in a first person camera. And then at the end of this fucking video, it turns out the motherfucker that's wrecking all this shit, it's a little girl that was like my age. And it fucking blew my mind. I mean, I was like, this dude is a fucking genius. That's how it was. It was like that. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker blew my mind. And from there, I just, you know what I'm saying? He was clearly my favorite from out. From then on. This motherfucker's a year older than my brother. As I said. So, I think at that point, I started to pretty much idolize that motherfucker. Every way, shape, and form. I just want to be like Pac. A smart ass gangster. That was my idea of what Pac was. A motherfucker. And not gangster like the way I used to try to be, but like a motherfucking revolutionary gangster. Fucking soldier gangster. That's how it was. So that's how my style was at that point. It wasn't like I was trying to be a gangbanger into that shit. Even though I did take a lot of my style from the gangbangers in Chicago that I seen before I started gangbanging. And these dudes that my brother, once again, used to hang out with, named Marcus and JoJo. And they was some real ass gangsters. They was some real ass folk corner hustlers. And I remember seeing them motherfuckers come back from doing some kind of work and the way they was dressed up. And I thought that shit was cool as fuck. Motherfuckers had guns, had the motherfucking scarves around their neck and shit. Backwards hat busted to the left. And everything was baggy. And then I realized these motherfuckers is wearing they shit baggy for a reason. Number one, you can't tell how big they are if you try to make a description. And number two, you can't tell if they carrying a gun. It conceals a lot better when some baggy shit. So that's a lot of where my style came from. And they all surrounding my brother. Man, I remember when Tupac died, I was fucking devastated. Because to me, Tupac had a lot, my identity was surrounded, not just in Tupac, but hip hop in general. And when I go to Minnesota, you know what I'm saying? I'm constantly going back and forth, Chicago to Minnesota. In Minnesota, it's like, you had some motherfucking haters, man. Motherfuckers did not like rap shit in Minnesota. I'm constantly being told that rap ain't shit. The music I like ain't shit. I ain't shit for liking that music. And it ain't gonna be around for that long, so why I'm wasting my time? That type of shit. And in Chicago, motherfuckers wasn't really listening to rap shit back then. They was listening to house music. So the way that I love rap shit, it was different from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I felt weird because of it. I embrace being weird, don't get it twisted. Like I said, I'm one of them motherfuckers that's wearing his clothes backwards in Minnesota. Why the motherfuckers couldn't stand motherfuckers that just listen to rap shit. I was living that shit and emulating it in every way possible. All up in their face with it. So when Pac got to like the pinnacle of his popularity, that's around the time when I moved out to Utah. 17, extremely impressionable. You know what I'm saying? I was just loving that shit. He dropped All Eyes on Me, coming out of jail. That motherfucker was the definition of a rock star. A day older than my brother. And I remember the first time he got shot, I was like, I didn't even think twice. I knew he's gonna get over it. Cause I seen him motherfucking giving a finger to the motherfucking, I seen that photo. But he giving a finger to the photographers, even though he's all shot up. So I knew he was gonna be good. I ain't fucking blink about that shit. But second time, the way motherfuckers was like describing what happened, it was like, I don't know, I remember I was at my sister's apartment. I think I was either 19 or 20 at this point. I'm at my sister's apartment, and then I remember I heard that he got shot. and like it was for real. He got shot the fuck up. And I remember, like, I didn't see no pictures, none of that shit. I mean, maybe I turned on MTV to see what they was talking about or some shit, but I think I turned it off pretty quick, cause it was pretty evident that he wasn't flipping off no photographers in this shit. And I remember sitting on my sister's couch. I had the TV turned off. I was thinking about I don't think this motherfucker gonna make it. That shit still fucks me up. So I just remember thinking, yeah, he's definitely gonna die. And then it's like, I think I just sat there the whole night, and I just went to sleep at some point, and then I woke up, and they was like talking some shit about he was on a motherfucking machine, and they took him off the machine. And I don't remember the exact sequence of this shit because it was a long time ago and it was fucked up. But at some point I realized that, I mean, everybody realized he was dead. And I just remember just fucking crying. As I'm like processing through this shit, man. I don't know. It's like a reality of how Biggie got smoked, man. Like, Biggie got caught up in some shit. You know what I'm saying? That whole fucking rap battle that they had. That was some stupid ass shit. It got so fucking out of hand. Man, I remember I was in Vegas. It's probably good. A few months, maybe. I say this was at least a few, probably maybe even 6 months after Pac got killed. And that shit, that fucking East Coast, West Coast beef got so fucking real. After, I mean, it was already real to the point where motherfuckers were getting the fights over that stupid shit. But after Pac died, I was in Vegas, man. I was at this party my homies had brought me to. I had just got out there, probably hadn't been out there for like more than a couple days. And we at this party, chilling, and he was there, my homie Corey. He told me, he was like, man, don't even motherfucking say you from Salt Lake. Motherfuckers don't want to hear shit about you if you from west of Vegas, or I mean from east of Vegas. If you from east of Vegas, you consider east side. The motherfuckers was tripping like that shit. Like, just don't even say where you from and shit like that. And definitely don't mention no motherfucking Chicago. That type of shit. Motherfuckers was heated. So Biggie got caught up in some shit. He didn't take that shit serious. He had no clue how in they feelings motherfuckers was on the West Coast. And he talking that shit about, alright man, Pac died. All y'all niggas get over that shit. I'm still here. By the way, rest in peace, little nigga. Like, that's the way I'm coming back to fucking Cali. Nigga make a song about it. So, I mean, I was like, man, this motherfucker is crazy. Does he have any idea that he is the motherfucking essence of the dude that they don't want to hear from? They talk about they don't want to hear from me. Mentioning Chicago. They don't want to hear you if you from fucking East. You fucking East Coast if you in Denver. To these motherfuckers. And Biggie talking shit about going back to fucking LA. It was a bad idea. I knew it. And wasn't surprised. I wasn't happy when he got smoked. Biggie was a fucking lyrical genius. But it's fucked up that they didn't take that shit more serious. Because I knew that's some dangerous shit that motherfucker was talking. So basically, like when Pac died, I guess subconsciously it was like my brother's substitute got smoked. And it fucked me up. It's like that's what Pac meant in a story that I guess is a lot more about feelings that I ain't never explored than I thought. As far as the news, Fauci and Burks, motherfuckers out there on their goddamn tour, shitting on Trump. Now these motherfuckers is all brave, talking shit about how they was this close to quitting and all that shit. Getting brave now. When them motherfuckers was quiet as shit. When that dumb fucking idiot was talking all that dumb fucking shit, they refused to contradict this motherfucker because they were scared to get fired. And now they got all this fucking brave shit to say when that fucking asshole is gone. Fuck Burks. Fuck Fauci. I don't trust this vaccine for shit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch this goddamn movie again. So I'm gonna be out there walking for a while. That's it. January 26th. Ain't shit happening. January 27th. 2021. Still watching Straight Outta Compton. Ain't shit really happened in the news. Joe Biden talking that shit. Talk about he finna solve racism. So get ready for that. He gonna form a blue ribbon panel to find out if the cops it'd be racist. He like Joe Biden on the motherfucking case. Republicans is like, yeah, y'all can think whatever the fuck y'all want, but ain't nobody trying to fucking convict Trump. So go ahead and have this motherfucking trial. And they said, clearly, you ain't getting 17 of us to flip on Trump punk ass. So Rand Paul told all the fucking Democrats in the Senate to suck his dick. He called the stupid ass vote. It was meaningless, but it was a way to just like show everybody we ain't going. That's basically what he said. So, and I ain't mad. I think impeachment, the whole shit was stupid because it's not that the motherfucker didn't deserve to be in trouble. It's that you knew the motherfucking Republicans was not gonna hold him responsible. So why even waste the fucking time? This is the 1 year anniversary of Kobe's death. Kobe died in a helicopter accident a year ago. That shit's crazy. It seemed like it was just yesterday. That year, it passed by such a weird way. Like, cause we was all stuck in a fucking house together for like 9 fucking months. That shit sucked. I mean, I don't know. We was watching what was it? That crazy video from CeeLo Green. Or actually it was Gnarls Barkley when he put that shit up. And how it's the whole video is basically a Rorschach test. So my kid was like, I want to take a Rorschach test. That shit look cool. And I was like, I thought about it and I just automatically answered, Rorschach test ain't real. You can't take a Rorschach test. Rorschach test is a test if you crazy. And I knew it. Just like that. Like, I knew that fucking Rorschach test ain't real. Cause I got in trouble a long time ago. I think I was like 15, out doing stupid shit with my friends. And we got arrested. And when you get knocked, when you a kid, fucking juvenile, they give you a psych evaluation. And they showed me a bunch of those like fucking ink blot tests. And that's just what it was. I just saw a bunch of fucking ink blots. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that I was supposed to be seeing something. Like I'm trying to figure out what they want me to say. But in reality, I passed that shit because I didn't see nothing. There was nothing there. It's just a fucking different paper with different fucking ink blots on them. But if I was crazy, I would have saw them ink blots moving. and doing whatever my fucking crazy ass mind is telling them to do. I see murder. I see death. I see, you know what I'm saying, crazy motherfuckers fucking in the field. Whatever it is, you will see some crazy shit if you're a crazy motherfucker in them ink blots. Or if you on drugs. If you're on drugs, those fucking ink blots, anybody that's ever done mushroom, no. If you're on drugs, and you look at what the Rorschach test, you will see some shit. But if you just normal state of mind, you ain't gonna see nothing. You just gonna see like ink blots. A lot of time I speak in opinion, qualifiers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time you hear me talk, it's gonna be theory. You know what I'm saying? It's how I feel. This is what I think. This is, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's something that I'm pulling out from memory. When I'm talking shit about what I see going on in the news and in my environment, it's opinion. But now I'm gonna speak in fact, 100%. Like, because there is a lot of arguments on this issue, and it's like a lot of motherfuckers just don't know what the fuck they talking about. So in this argument here and now, top 5 rappers, dead or alive, I think you got, nah, there ain't no think, what the fuck I'm saying, it ain't I think, this is a fact. Jadakiss and Method Man are tied for number 5. You can't separate them. They just both so nice. Nas is number 4. Eminem's number 3. Biggie's number 2. And Tupac is number 1. And it's not even close. And I get motherfuckers gonna be like, yeah, she's talking all that shit yesterday about how you feel about this nigga. So you biased. It's a bias, obviously, but it's also some facts in that shit. There's plenty of dudes in that list also that should get honorable mention, but they didn't make the top 5, so I ain't gonna mention them. No, I lie. Lauryn Hill, she ain't no rapper, but she's the best singer. Hands down, like singer, writer, producer of her own shit. She did all that shit. There's a lot of motherfuckers that didn't. So she's number 1. Even over Whitney. Because Whitney didn't write her own shit. But the reason why Tupac is like far above everybody else, and it gets annoying when Biggie and it gets like all this mention about how this is like real competition between him and Pac. I put it like this. Tupac is a real person. He talked about all kinds of shit. He didn't just talk about, you know, gangster shit or having fun or fucking with hoes or whatever. The little girls, you know what I'm saying, abandoning their babies in a goddamn dumpster, he talked about real shit that was going on. Now, Biggie talked about real shit that was going on, but it was fake, man. I mean, it was like Biggie wasn't really out there running around robbing motherfuckers and killing motherfuckers. That shit was not real. But Pac really was seeing, whether in real life or on the news, little girls leaving their babies in dumpsters. You know what I'm saying? So there was some real shit that Pac had to say versus Biggie. Fantastic raps that was pure fantasy. And if it wasn't fantasy, it was something that he pulled from somebody else's life. Okay? So, also, Biggie was selling you Versace and Gucci and all that shit. Now, Pac did that shit a little bit with the alcohol, the Alizé and shit. Once again, back in the Machiavelli shit. But Biggie was 100% commercial rap. Bragger raps and shit, like motherfuckers called it back in the old days. That motherfucker ain't had shit to say if he wasn't selling you some shit, and I hope to God he got some money out of that shit. But if he wasn't rapping about murdering or killing motherfuckers, killing motherfuckers or robbing, you know what I'm saying? It was trying to sell some outrageously expensive bullshit. His raps was like listening to fucking commercials. So how the fuck you gonna put that, no matter how nice it's put together? Because Nas, in reality, if you go, Eminem, they put together plenty of shit, and Eminem is actually, to me, the closest, because his shit is so real, especially his shit from back in the day. Like his first album, that's a fucking classic. But it still don't, me being a fucking connoisseur of hip hop, none of these motherfuckers can compare to Pac and his entire library. The closest is probably Eminem. If Biggie had lived, then maybe he would have got over all that commercialism and started talking about real shit. But I think Biggie put out one real song, and the rest of it was and even that song, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all that shit, it was on a much smaller level, but it was still super commercialized. He was talking about the shit that he wanted, and now he gets to play with, but it was still like, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Biggie was nice. I ain't shitting on him at all. Nas was nice. Eminem was nice. Jadakiss and Method Man. New York is like all up in my top 5. So it ain't like I'm hating on New York. This is just a fact. Pac rapped about real shit, and Biggie was trying to sell you Versace. Say he wasn't. The reason why I say that Pac was a genius It's not just because Holly If You Hear Me video. That's a great fucking video, but it's way deeper than that. Like, motherfuckers like to talk that shit about like how, you know what I'm saying, Machiavelli was like a piece of shit in comparison to like the genius fucking Life After Death that Biggie put out. Biggie shit was like, he is a wordsmith. That motherfucker could tell stories in his raps that were just so nicely put together. But his shit was more like superficial. A lot of surface. There wasn't much meat on the bone. Biggie was the first motherfucker that I remember, like, truly, like, going commercial. Like, big time. As hot as that shit was, that we all be shaking our asses to that shit in the club, it was hella commercial. And you want to listen to any of that shit, and it's still, I mean, that shit's still hot today, but it's just this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, going from commercial line to the next commercial line on hot beats. So Biggie got a lot of extra like New York love, and the fact that his rhymes was so tight that's why he's mentioned on Tupac level. But Tupac was like NWA. NWA is good music, good party music, right? It's like NWA is gangster shit. It's gangster rap. These fucking assholes call gangster rap. That's what fucking NWA is. That's what they embrace. I mean, they wrote a song called Gangsta Gangsta. They wrote a song called Dope Man. And it wasn't about shame on you, dope man. It was a song about slanging dope. That's gangster rap. I get so fucking annoyed when some dumbass, illiterate motherfucker be talking about Pac was gangster rap. Machiavelli was gangster rap, and it wasn't that good. It was. Don't get me wrong, I love the song. Machiavelli the Dawn. Come with me. No, yeah, Hail Mary. That song, I love that song. But Machiavelli, if Me Against the World and Tupacalypse now are 10s, All Eyes on Me, that's like a 8 or a 9. Machiavelli's like a 4. There are some good songs on it, but it wasn't pop. That shit was Death Row, Machiavelli. You know what I'm saying? That was a persona. I ain't making no excuses for nobody. That shit was average at best. But that was only one out of like a million. That was one fucking CD out of like thousands, it seemed like, songs that this motherfucker put out. Tupac Lives Now, Me Against the World, and All Eyes on Me, to a certain extent. There's like not even a fucking definition in fucking rap shit for what Me Against the World and Tupacalypse is. It's not gangster rap. I don't know what the fuck you call that shit. Revolutionary rap. This is why I love Pac. One time, it was some kid, some dude. He got into it with the cops somehow. I think he got pulled over, or I don't know exactly what the fuck happened, but I think he got pulled over and he ended up shooting out with the cops. Surrendered or lost, I don't know how the fuck it ended. But the dude goes on, when he's on trial about the shit, to say he was listening to Tupac's music, specifically the song Violent. And he got so geeked up and pissed off because he felt like he was being wrongly pulled over. Been there. So I definitely feel him. But he gets into this shootout and he says that fucking that song Violent is like what pushed him to that level. And then some journo like walks up on Pac, try to do one of them gotcha fucking situations. And I'm paraphrasing once again. But bitch basically asked him like, how do you feel that your music is being used as a reason why this guy got into a shootout with the cops? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel bad that those cops got hurt because of your music? Basically, paraphrasing. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was something similar to that. And then Pop was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Whatever it takes to help a young nigga out this system, I'ma do it. I'm with it. Like, he said something like that. He wasn't like, oh, I'm shocked and my thoughts and prayers go out to the police and my music is about love. He didn't say that shit. He said whatever it takes to help get a nigga out this system, I'm with it. That's some fucking cold-blooded shit for a motherfucker that's like probably 22, 23 at the time. You know what I'm saying? That shit was major. And there's all these urban legends about Pac getting into fucking shootouts with the cops. I don't know if that shit's true or not. Maybe if it is. But it definitely enhanced his like motherfucking street bona fides.
Great. Yeah, I never did like the older that anyway. No. What you got?
Well, Pac wasn't no gangster rap. Pac wrote songs like Brenda's Got a Baby, about a little 12, 13-year-old girl gets raped by some asshole and she has to have an abortion. He sings this songs. This motherfucker was probably like 19 when he wrote this shit. They call that motherfucker gangster. Gangster rap. Because of Machiavelli. On the same CD, he wrote keep your head up. Shout out to fucking single moms and an understanding of what they going through. And that they call that motherfucker gangster because of Machiavelli. Even the shit that they try to say is really gangster, like Soldier Story, the one about the kid going to break his brother out of jail. That story is so fucking on point as far as like the things that we were seeing and going through back in the 90s and the 80s. My older cousin, the one that was older, like he always had more sense than all of us, including me. He was like a good kid, a nerdy type kid, smart, but even he ended up getting in a little bit of trouble after she had to go to work. I don't even know if he actually got in any trouble, but he started hanging out and fucking with them gangs, just like the rest of us. My little cousin, there's a older one, a middle one that's like a year younger than me, and then my little one that's like 3 years younger than me. The one that's like a year younger than me, man, this kid was a fucking athlete. Like, I'll put it like this. This kid is the fastest motherfucker I've ever seen in real life. Like, maybe I've seen somebody on TV, Usain Bolt or some shit. I don't know. I might put my money on TJ, even against Usain Bolt back in the day. This motherfucker was so fast. If some fucking coach would have just came across him, something professional would have came out of that type of athletic ability. This dude was a good 5 to 10 miles faster than all of us. Not just me. He was faster than everybody. The only motherfucker I seen, and I swear to God this is true, that is as fast as my cousin TJ. I seen back when Jamal Anderson used to play for the University of Utah. My brother and me, this is like when I first moved out here. There's this dude named Mike and Abdul. Abdul was a college kid, Mike was a college kid. So, and they all hung out with Jamal, so I don't know, they just got good seats and shit. It seemed like the motherfuckers had perks that normal motherfuckers just ain't always get. So we sitting up there, not on the field, but right next to the fucking field. And we ain't paid for shit for them tickets. I don't know why we was standing where we was standing, but nobody fuck with us, so we was chilling. And the U was playing San Diego State. And Marshall Faulk was on San Diego State. And he was known as being the baddest motherfucker. And they was making a big deal about him going up against Jamal. And I really wasn't into like watching no live football. So I was just, scoping the crowd looking for girls. But because I didn't give a fuck about none of that shit that was going on back then. But I remember seeing Marshall Faulk constantly running up and down the field with a fucking cloud of dust behind him and a bunch of dudes in that cloud. That motherfucker is the only dude that I could say I've ever seen that compares to fucking TJ speed. And I'm not saying Marshall Faulk, a fucking Hall of Fame, first ballot NFL running back, is faster, I don't know. It would have been a hell of a race. I know that. Motherfuckers used to, this is not an urban legend, this is actual legend about my cousin. Kids would come up and like humbly ask to race this motherfucker, and I think they would have to pay him like $10 or $20 or something. And I see my cousin's probably like 17, but to average motherfucker it's probably like 25, maybe 30, because he was heavily drinking and smoking. At this time, he's definitely what I would consider an alcoholic, and constantly smoking, like all of us was. And we was sitting on the porch one time, and this kid, he's probably about 14, 15, looking all shy, shit, walks up to us on the porch. We all a bunch of gangbangers hanging out. You know what I'm saying? On the porch. And this kid bravely walks up to us, and he like kind of whispers something to TJ. And he like hands him some money. And TJ got this motherfucking 40. And he takes a big old guzzle out of it, takes a hit off the plug, and like, man, hold my 40. Gets up, walks down to the end of the block. These motherfuckers race. And my cousin, after probably having like 2 40s already, and smoking blunts with the best of them, smoked this fucking kid. It was like not even close. These kids would come from all across the city to see how fast they really were by testing it against TJ. This motherfucker ain't been in school a day past 9th grade at the time. If he fucking graduated from college now, forgive me. But at the time, I'm pretty sure he dropped out before the 9th grade. Pure genius when it came to running. And he smoked that kid. And fucking, it was like, it's just an amazing thing to see a drunk motherfucker smoking blunts blaze a fucking prime athlete. Just smoked him. My cousin was the shit like that. But like I said, at 17, he was definitely an alcoholic. And definitely smoking a lot. It's sad because that motherfucker had a professional athletic talent, no doubt in my mind. It's just sad no motherfuckers ever harnessed it. And then my little cousin, you know, he was gangbanging way harder than I ever did. He got into some real type shit.